revealed how an unexpected apology transformed my life and exposed her amazing wealth of lies. Sarah never thought she'd find herself standing at this crossroads, but there she was, heart racing as she gripped the worn edge of the diner counter. Each day at Molly's Diner, nestled in the heart of a town struggling to find its footing, she reminded herself of her unwavering purpose. Her two kids needed her. They deserved to be shielded from the frigid silence of the rift with her estranged mother, a woman who once graced the town's headlines and now danced among the elite, far removed from Sarah's coffee-stained apron and laser-focused life. It was festival season again, a bittersweet reminder of joy and despair colliding. The air buzzed with anticipation, nostalgia rippling through the community, everyone prepping for the annual fall festival. Sarah felt a twinge in her chest as she learned that the local newspaper would feature her mother, a snapshot of her luxurious lifestyle parading in stark contrast to Sarah's daily grind and laser-focused life. It was festival season again, a bittersweet reminder of joy and despair colliding. The air buzzed with anticipation, nostalgia rippling through the community, everyone prepping for the annual fall festival. Sarah felt a twinge in her chest as she learned that the local newspaper would feature her mother, a snapshot of her luxurious lifestyle parading in stark contrast to Sarah's daily grind. The anger bubbled under her skin. She fought not to let it consume her. Why had her mother chosen that life, abandoning her when she needed her the most? As Sarah served pie to eager patrons, she glimpsed the resilience of her community in their smiles and hearty laughter. Friendly faces filled the diner, old friends and faithful regulars who treated her like family. They shared kind words, offered support, reminding her that she wasn't alone. Yet that unfamiliar anger would swell back up as the festival loomed closer. The unwelcomed thought of her careless life gnawed at Sarah's spirit, dragging her into shadows she fought to resist. Then a flicker of hope arrived in a form she never expected, an apology from her mother. The words were inked in a handwritten note that felt as foreign as the life her mother led. "I'm sorry," it echoed, each line wrenching from a long-buried fracture in Sarah's heart. "I want to reconnect." Could she? The confusion was suffocating. Would it lead her toward healing or simply dig the knife deeper into the wounds? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the festival began, Sarah stood amidst the festive lights that twinkled overhead, feeling the tension begin to thicken around them. The laughter of children played at the edges of her consciousness, but her focus shifted to the sight of her mother, gliding through the crowd like a specter. Heart pounding, she approached her. "Why now?" Sarah's voice trembled, each word heavy with the burden of years spent in silence. Their coffee dialogue quickly escalated, a torrent unleashed by years of resentment. Hidden truths clawed their way to the surface, shaking the fragile facade of their family ties. And like a clap of thunder, the truth struck Sarah harder than any blow could. The very essence of her mother's life had been built on lies. As she fought to process this newfound reality, the community's collective breath caught in their throats. Each person present mirrored in Sarah's cascading emotions. Standing there, confronted with a past riddled with deceit, Sarah felt the pull of destiny. What would this revelation mean for her? Could she find a way forward, not just for herself, but for her kids? She was already reclaiming her narrative, a chapter ready to unfold. But the question lingered. Was forgiveness even a path worth exploring when the ground beneath her felt less than stable? The noise of the festival surrounded them, yet in that heart-pounding moment, it felt like they stood worlds apart. Sarah stared at her mother, searching the familiar yet foreign face for answers. Years of abandonment paraded in the silence that followed. "What do you want from me?" she finally spat, emotion bubbling over. Words came out sharp, like glass. She clutched a nearby folding chair, needing something solid to steady herself. I don't expect anything, her mother replied, those polite words barely veiling a desperate plea. I just want you to know that I'm sorry for everything, for the pain I caused you. I've made mistakes. Made mistakes? The fire in Sarah's voice surprised even herself. You left me. You left this family to drown. Each word hit hard, echoing with years of pent-up bitterness. The faces of her children flashed through her mind, innocent in their own struggles, while she faced the storm of her mother's choices alone. Around them, small townsfolk had turned their attention to the unfolding drama, palpable tension heavy in the air. Sarah could feel their eyes, the weight of judgment and curiosity as they whispered among themselves. She didn't care. This was her moment. Do you even know what it was like? She felt the rawness in her throat. You think a postcard and an apology now will erase my hurt? You think you can just waltz back into my life with some fancy words? Her mother's expression flickered, hurt mingling with a hint of regret. I know I can't fix everything, Sarah, but I want to try. I've missed so much. You and the kids. I want to be part of your lives again. You were my world. No! The word came out in a shout that silenced even the laughter of children nearby. You lost that right when you chose your life over us. You can't just drag us into your mess of lies now. The crowd around them had come to a standstill. Time stretched into eternity. Each side waiting for the other to make the next move. Sarah's heart raced as uncertainty gripped her. She swung between wanting to push her mother away forever and the whisper of hope that maybe, just maybe, this apology held some weight. Please let me explain, her mother pleaded, eyes wide and desperate. But the deeper layers of Sarah's fear drove her back. What's the point of your explanations when I don't even know who you are anymore? A wave of exhaustion washed over her, and she felt like a puppet cut free from the strings. The bitterness still held a chokehold on her heart. Sarah turned away, feeling the air shift as rejection hung heavily between them. She walked through the crowd, feeling the warmth of the festival turn cold. Lanterns twinkled overhead, laughter fading in the distance as a storm brewed within. With each step, clarity began to break through the fog. Could she afford to forgive? Would it mean opening a door to reconciliation or just more heartbreak? As she crossed the festival grounds, the sound of the laughter faded and her kids' faces came back to her, filled with innocence and curiosity. They needed a mother whole, not one who was still tethered to the past. Yet, as she turned to glance back at her mother, a single question loomed. Was letting go of the past the only way to protect their future? The moment still danced in her mind, unresolved. As Sarah drifted further from the center of the festival, a voice called out from behind her, startling her back to reality. It was her mother, out of breath, desperation etched in her features. "Wait, I have something to tell you." Sarah's heart pounded as she hesitated. What could she possibly say now that might change everything again? Sarah stopped in her tracks, her heart racing. The crowd around the festival seemed to dissolve, their laughter and chatter fading into background noise. All that remained was her mother's shaky voice echoing in her ears. "What could you possibly have to say?" she managed, though the tremor in her own voice betrayed her. Was she really ready to hear what her mother had to say? "Please," her mother pleaded, stepping closer, tears glistening in her eyes. "Just give me a second. I didn't want to tell you this here, but it's important." The sincerity in her mother's eyes caught Sarah off guard. Could this be a turning point, or was she just being drawn deeper into a web of deception? "Fine," she snapped. "What is it?" Her mother drew a shaky breath. "It's about your father." At the mention of his name, something inside Sarah twisted tightly. Her father had been a ghost in their lives, a silent void left in the wake of her mother's absence and the bitterness that had grown over the years. "What about him?" she asked, her voice hardening. "What could you possibly have to say that wouldn't just add to the mess?" "He's not who you think he is. I mean, he hasn't been for a long time." Her mother spoke quickly, her eyes darting away as if the mere thought could cause her to shatter. "You need to understand that I left not just to escape you or the life we had, but to protect you." "Protect me?" Sarah threw her hands up in disbelief. "By leaving? By abandoning me? I thought I was doing what was best. I didn't want to drag you into the darkness. He got involved in things, bad things. I thought if I disappeared..." "Disappeared?" The word came out like a bitter laugh, cutting through her mother's words. "That's the solution? Just vanish and pretend everything's fine?" Her mother stepped even closer, their faces inches apart. "He is not the man you remember, Sarah. He became consumed by his demons. I didn't want you to see. I didn't want you to hate him. I was scared, and I still am." The admission blasted through Sarah like a winter wind, chilling her to the bone. All the confusion, all the years spent wondering why they were left alone, suddenly rushed back. She could feel walls built over years starting to crack, just a little. "Then why didn't you tell me? Why now?" "I didn't know how," her mother whispered. "But I can't live this lie anymore. I thought I could just stay away, that it would keep you safe. Now I see I was wrong. You deserve the truth. We both do." Sarah stood still, the warmth of the festival fading as darker shadows loomed large in her mind. This was not what she expected when it came to confrontation. Would understanding lead to forgiveness, or was this simply a new way to rearrange the pain? "Why should I trust you? You left us when we needed you the most." Her voice cracked, emotion weaving through her words. "Because I'm here now," her mother insisted, her eyes pleading. "Because I want to help you understand where we came from. I want to rebuild what we lost. It won't be easy, but please, let's try. You deserve to know the truth about your father, about us." Time froze again, and that burning question returned. Was this revelation a lifeline or a stronger weight to bear? Unsure of her next move, Sarah glanced back at the festival. The sight felt more surreal than ever, laughter echoing hollowly in her ears. Beneath the surface, her mind raced with thoughts and emotions that demanded clarity. And before she could stop herself, she asked, "What do you even know about him now? About the life you tried to protect us from?" Her mother opened her mouth as if to answer, but the words halted in her throat, and the weight of uncertainty remained heavy in the air. The silence stretched between them, thick with unspoken truths and buried fears. Sarah felt her heart pounding against her ribs, a relentless drumbeat, urging her to confront the chaos unfurling in her mind. Her mother's eyes darted, a mix of panic and regret flashing across her face. After what felt like an eternity, her mother finally whispered, "I found out things, terrible things, after I left. Please, you have to understand that I wasn't running from just your father. I was running for you, the man he became. I didn't think it was safe for you to know." "How is it safe to hide this?" Sarah countered, her voice raw. "You think pretending he doesn't exist will keep me safe? How does that even make sense?" "Because the truth can be more dangerous than you realize," her mother replied, a tremor in her voice. "The life he chose took him down paths you can't imagine. Drug deals, threats. I didn't want you caught in his wake, Sarah." "Caught in his wake?" Sarah shook her head, disbelief washing over her. "So your plan was to just vanish and hope everything would be all right? That I'd never have questions? That I wouldn't want to know who he was or what he did?" "It was a mistake," her mother cried, her voice breaking. "I see that now, but back then I thought it was for the best. What else is there?" Sarah pressed, frustration bubbling. "If you're going to say something, just say it. I deserve more than half-truths and excuses. What did he do?" Her mother took a deep breath, eyes glistening with tears. I learned he was involved in something much bigger than I thought, something that could bring serious danger to us. I wanted to shield you from it all, but the longer I stayed away, the more it ate away at me. And now you're at an age where you see the world differently. You deserve honesty, even if it hurts. Do you know where he is? The question slipped out before she could think, and suddenly the weight of her mother's past felt heavier than ever. No, her mother whispered, anguish etched across her features. I didn't want to keep my life entwined with his, for fear that he would find us. I thought with each year the danger would fade. But now, a new wave of grief washed over her. Now what? Sarah demanded, feeling her brows furrow. If he's still alive, he might be aware of our lives again. And if he is, he could come back, her mother said, as if each word brought her closer to a dark truth she had managed to keep hidden. Sarah's hands trembled as she fought to process this. Danger? Whispers of her father in a shadowy life? It was a lot to digest, enough to make her feel dizzy. You're saying we may not be safe? That he could come back and disrupt whatever life I've finally built for myself? Her mother lowered her eyes, nodding almost imperceptibly. I never wanted this for you. But before she could finish, Sarah interrupted. How? Could you let this go on for so long? How many more secrets are there? I told you, her mother began. No, you don't get to keep cutting me off. You can't be serious that this was the only dark revelation? Sarah yelled, frustration boiling over. The truth hung in the air like a storm cloud, heavy and ominous. Sarah could feel her world teetering on the edge. All those questions about her father, the lingering shadows of her mother's past, they suddenly felt close enough to reach out and touch. But what if it isn't just him? A thought crossed her mind, fear creeping in. What if something worse comes our way now that you've brought this back into the light? Her mother met her gaze, a flicker of recognition passing between them. Then we face it together. We have to, don't we? As Sarah felt the weight of her mother's words settle in, uncertainty churned within her. Could they really face whatever was coming? And would it bring them closer together or tear them apart once more? Before she could respond, a loud crash erupted from the festival grounds, cutting through their fragile moment. Both women turned, hearts pounding anew. Something was happening, a commotion, a rush of worried voices. And in the midst of that chaos, a familiar shadow loomed large, threatening to shatter the delicate truth they were just beginning to forge. What now? Sarah uttered, caught between past fears and present danger, the tangled web of family secrets tightening around her once more. Sarah's breath hitched as she turned towards the festival grounds. People were scrambling, panic etched on their faces. The sounds of shouts and confusion pulsed through the air, each echo hitting her like a hammer blow. What are they running from? She murmured, gripping her mother's arm tightly. I don't know, her mother said, eyes wide with fear. Stay close to me. They stepped toward the chaos, hearts racing as they pushed through the crowd. The festive lights above flickered, casting an eerie glow on the throngs of people now huddled together, some crying, others shouting. It was meant to be a joyful occasion, but the atmosphere had shifted, filled with tension and uncertainty. Suddenly, a figure broke through the crowd, flailing as he stumbled into the open. A man, wild-eyed and dirty, his shirt torn and stained. Sarah's heart dropped when she recognized him. Help! Someone help me! He shouted, his voice trembling. They're coming! You have to hide! Is that... her mother stammered, the blood draining from her face. Tommy, Sarah whispered, fear coursing through her veins. He had been a boy from her childhood, someone she had once thought of as a friend, but their lives had split apart long ago, his becoming tangled in the very sins her mother had sought to escape. The crowd shifted restlessly, whispers rising like smoke. Panic rippled through, faces turning from curiosity to concern. Sarah's mind raced. Could this be connected to her father? Tommy! What do you mean? Who's coming? She called out, pushing through a few more bodies to reach him. He looked at her, eyes wide and shimmering with desperation. You don't understand. It's not just about your dad anymore. It's bigger. They'll destroy everything in their path. What are you talking about? Her voice rose, almost drowning in the clamor around her. Drugs, gangs, it's all back. They've come to settle scores, to take back control. Your dad, he's not just a ghost, he's part of it, he gasped. A shiver ran down Sarah's spine. Recognizing what was coming, dread pooled deep within her. No, this can't be happening. Her mother pulled her close, her expression a mixture of fear and resolve. We need to leave now. We can't be here when they show up. We can't let them find us. Where will we go? Sarah felt the hopelessness crash down on her. You said we were safe. What if they know about us, about me? Tommy grabbed her hand, his grip tight and urgent. You need to listen. Trust me. There's a safe place we can go, but we have to move fast. As the sounds of commotion escalated, dread coiled around Sarah's heart. Confusion battled with instinct, and she could feel the weight of her choices bearing down on her. Was it time to trust someone she had lost contact with? And what did it mean to face her father's shadows? I don't know if I can, she said, shakily glancing back at her mother, who looked equally torn. Sarah, we don't have time. We have to make a choice now, her mother urged, a tinge of desperation creeping into her tone. The air felt electric, charged with the unknown. Sarah stood frozen, pulse racing, her mind swirling with memories of her father, her mother's warnings, and the looming threat that now clawed at their lives. Are you ready? Tommy asked, eyes darting back toward the chaotic scene. The question hung in the air, heavy with possibilities. Could she step into the fear and darkness that had haunted her, or would she choose a new path, one that might lead to the answers she desperately sought? The festival lights began to flicker more violently now, shadows growing taller and darker. There was no turning back. Let's go, Sarah finally said, determination slowly replacing her uncertainty. But as they turned to leave, a figure appeared at the edge of the chaos, freezing her in place. Someone she recognized, someone she never thought she would see again. Sarah, the voice called out, slicing through the crowd noise. Her heart pounded as she turned towards them, caught between hope and fear. Who was it, and what did they want? Sarah, the voice cut through the chaos like a knife. It was familiar, echoing memories from a past Sarah had tried so hard to escape. She squinted through the crowd, spotting a figure pushing their way toward her. Her breath caught in her... Rachel? Sarah whispered, disbelief mingling with a rush of emotions. She hadn't seen her childhood friend in years, not since everything had gone wrong. Rachel's face was lined with worry, her eyes darting around as if evaluating threats. You shouldn't be here. It's too dangerous. She reached Sarah, grasping her shoulders tightly. I thought you were gone for good. Tommy shifted, unease rippling through him as he glanced between the two girls. We're leaving now, he insisted, glancing toward the surging crowd. They're coming. Who's coming? Rachel asked, panic creeping into her voice. Those connected to your father, Tommy replied tersely. Look, we don't have time for this. We have to go. Sarah, please. Rachel's voice dropped to a desperate whisper. You don't know what's happening here. Everything's gone to hell. There's corruption. And your father... I know, Sarah interrupted, eyes wide with fear. Tommy just told me. We have to figure this out. But right now, we need to get somewhere safe. Rachel nodded, but her expression was troubled. I can help. I can lead you to a place where they won't find us. Confusion washed over Sarah. Could she trust Rachel? They had once been so close, inseparable in the innocence of their childhood. But as they grew old, their paths diverged, Rachel disappearing into a world Sarah had long wished to forget. What's happened to you? She finally asked, her voice trembling. You've changed. I had to adapt, Rachel snapped back, her eyes flashing with urgency. You think I wanted this? We're not kids anymore. This is real life. Maybe we should listen to her, Tommy interjected, a sense of urgency radiating from him. He suddenly looked back toward the festival, eyebrows knitted together in concern. They're coming. I can feel it. Sarah felt paralyzed. The weight of her past collided with the gravity of her present. Could she really plunge into the shadows of her upbringing again, with Rachel as a guide? Or was this just a trap waiting to ensnare her? "Okay," Sarah said finally. "Let's go. But I need answers along the way." Her heart beat fast against her ribcage, a mixture of hope and dread flooding her. They pushed forward, weaving past screaming children and frantic adults, urgency driving their every step. Sarah stole a glance at Rachel, who walked alongside her, a ghost of the carefree girl she remembered. "Why would you help me now?" she asked, struggling to be heard over the thrumming chaos. Rachel looked away, her expression lost in thought. "Because I made mistakes, Sarah. I want to fix them." Her voice quivered. "And I owe you for abandoning you back then when you needed me most." As they neared the edge of the festival grounds, the atmosphere grew heavier, suffocated by murmurs of danger. Sarah's instincts screamed at her to stay alert, but the comforting grip of childhood friendship swayed her. Could Rachel be a part of the solution, or another complication in her already chaotic life? "Okay," Sarah said finally. "Let's go. But I need answers along the way." Her heart beat fast against her ribcage, a mixture of hope and dread flooding her. They pushed forward, weaving past screaming children and frantic adults, urgency driving their every step. Sarah stole a glance at Rachel, who walked alongside her, a ghost of the carefree girl she remembered. "Why would you help me now?" she asked, struggling to be heard over the thrumming chaos. Rachel looked away, her expression lost in thought. "Because I made mistakes, Sarah. I want to fix them." Her voice quivered. "And I owe you for abandoning you back then when you needed me most." As they neared the edge of the festival grounds, the atmosphere grew heavier, suffocated by murmurs of danger. Sarah's instincts screamed at her to stay alert, but the comforting grip of childhood friendship swayed her. Could Rachel be a part of the solution, or another complication in her already chaotic life? "Okay," Sarah said finally. "Let's go. But I need answers along the way." "Need to cross before it gets worse," Tommy urged, pulling Sarah and Rachel to the side of a fraying tent. "I can lead us through the alleyways." "Just remember, I'm with you," Rachel whispered, squeezing Sarah's hand for reassurance. Then, from behind them, a loud crash echoed across the festival grounds. The festival lights dimmed, the shimmering joy turning to terror. Sarah looked back just in time to see shadows moving through the crowd, darker than the night itself, their intent clear and malicious. "Run!" Tommy shouted, pulling Sarah away, but she hesitated. The tension, the confrontation of her past, filled her mind. The figures were coming closer. "Sarah, come on!" Rachel's voice broke through her thoughts, urgent yet filled with a frail urgency. What would it take to escape? Would the shadows claim them all before they found safety? And what truth was Rachel hiding that would reshape Sarah's understanding of everything? "Keep your heads down, stay together," Tommy yelled as they broke into a sprint, the festival fading behind them, leaving Sarah with only questions. The echoes of their escape mixed with the rising fear around them. But would the past let her go so easily? The alleyways were narrow and suffocating, shadows creeping along the walls like phantoms. Tommy kept a firm grip on Sarah's wrist, leading them through the maze of side streets. Rachel fell in behind, her hurried steps betraying her tension. Sarah could feel her heart thudding painfully in her chest, a mix of fear and mounting anxiety. "Where are we going?" Sarah's voice was barely above a whisper, maxing out her lungs' capacity as the walls seemed to close in on her. "A safe house, I promise," Tommy replied, not looking back but leading them faster. "Just hold on." Rachel remained quiet, her focus on their hurried escape, but Sarah's gut twisted with uncertainty. The comfort she had once felt around Rachel now seemed like a shadow, flickering, uncertain. "Do you even have a plan?" Sarah shot at her during a brief stop behind an abandoned dumpster. Rachel's eyes darted, a flicker of vulnerability surfacing momentarily. "I did, before you showed up," she said defensively, brushing her dark hair from her face. "But things have changed. Trust me, I know how to navigate through this mess. I just need us to stick together." Anger bubbled under Sarah's skin.
You think I can just forget everything? You vanished without a word. How can I trust you now? Rachel's expression hardened. Because I'm standing here, I'm taking risks for you, and I don't owe you a damn thing. You have no idea what I've faced. Her voice wavered, eyes filling with the ghosts of battles lost. But the moment was cut short, as a group of figures turned the corner ahead, their faces masked, but their body language unmistakable. They were violent, eager, searching. "Run," Tommy hissed, shattering the brief confrontation. When he dashed out of hiding, leading the way again, Sarah and Rachel followed. Sarah's light
Burned in protest, but there was no time to waver. They dodged past debris and garbage cans, tearing through the alleyways. Sarah remembered childhood ventures, playgrounds, laughter, but those memories felt tainted now, marred by the danger they faced. "You say you want to fix things, Rachel. What if I can't believe you?" she shouted, a mix of frustration and desperation spilling from her lips. "I haven't lost hope, Sarah. You can't either." Rachel's voice cracked, desperation seeping through. "If you give up on us, it's over for both of us." But Sarah couldn't understand why Rachel was so insistent. What had she risked? What stakes lay buried in their past? Questions gnawed at her, making it hard to breathe amidst the frantic sprint through darkened alleyways. They reached another corner, Tommy slowing their pace to catch his breath. "We need a new plan," he panted, scanning the area. "We can't stay in the open for long." Rachel looked pale, her earlier bravado slipping. "They're closing in. I know a place underground." "Underground?" Sarah snapped, panic rising again. "And what makes that any safer?" "It's the only option," Rachel exclaimed, frustration bubbling up. "I'd rather take a chance down there than wait for them to find us." A hard choice loomed over them, like a looming storm. Sarah felt the shadows closing in, not just around them, but within her. Doubt mingling with fear, and the burden of unspoken truths. "Fine," Sarah finally agreed, wrestling with the knot in her stomach. "Lead the way." The words felt heavy, yet laced with a glimmer of commitment. She had to trust, even if it felt like stepping blindfolded into the depths of an abyss. The three of them pushed forward, each step heavier than the last, each breath filled with the echoes of the unknown. As Rachel led them into a half-hidden entrance, the dark maw of the underground loomed ahead, shadows swirling just out of sight. "What lies beneath will change everything," Rachel whispered, the weight of those words pulling at Sarah's heart. What more could Rachel reveal? What darkness awaited them, just below the surface? And would they emerge, transformed, or would the shadows consume them whole? The underground tunnel swallowed them whole, the dim light fading as they descended deeper into the earth. The air felt thick and cool against Sarah's skin, carrying a smell of damp stone and rust. In that claustrophobic silence, fear wrapped around her like a vice. She could barely make out the flickering light ahead as Tommy and Rachel moved forward, their breaths echoing softly against the brick walls. "Are you sure about this place?" Sarah's voice sounded small, almost lost in the cavernous dark. "Knew it like the back of my hand back then," Rachel replied, but her tone held a hint of uncertainty that pricked at Sarah's insides. "We'll be safe here, at least for a bit." But as they pressed on, the shadows seemed to close in tightly, and doubt crept into Sarah's mind. "This wasn't the plan, Rachel. I didn't sign up for hiding out in some underground bunker. We're running blind." "I'm trying to protect you," Rachel's voice snapped back, defense rising again. "You don't know what I'm up against. Why do you keep questioning me?" "Because things aren't just what they seem," Sarah shot back, her heart racing. "This is about our lives, Rachel. You can't keep pretending everything's fine while the world's falling apart." Tommy turned, pressing his palm against the cold wall of the tunnel. "Enough. This isn't going to get better if we keep arguing." His gaze softened, urging them to calm down. "We need to focus. Maybe Rachel can explain." "Explain what?" Sarah interrupted, frustration bubbling over. "Explain why we're running? Why we're hiding instead of facing what's out there?" Rachel bit her lip, glancing between Tommy and Sarah.
You don't understand what I've done to keep us safe. I thought I could fix things. Fix what? The words slipped out before Sarah could stop them. Everything feels broken between us, and you're acting like we can just bury it all down here. Silence filled the space, amplifying their ragged breaths. Rachel seemed at a crossroads, her resolve beginning to falter under the weight of her shame. I didn't mean to vanish. I thought it was what you wanted. I thought I was helping. Her voice softened, almost cracking. Helping me? Sarah echoed, disbelief flooding her tone. You left. How was that helpful? Leaving me behind when all I wanted was to understand? Rachel stepped closer, the shadows dancing around her face, revealing the turmoil behind her eyes. It wasn't about you. I was trying to protect you, protect us both. I didn't want you tangled up in this mess. But now I am, Rachel. Sarah's insides twisted. I'm here. I'm scared, and I can't keep trusting you without answers. The pain in her voice hung in the air, raw and honest. It's complicated, Rachel finally said, her resolve wavering. There are things I haven't told you, choices I made that put us in danger. I thought I was making the right decisions. Right decisions? Tommy interjected, his tone firm but gentle. Hiding things isn't a decision that leads to trust. What are you so afraid to tell us? Rachel hesitated, eyes glistening in the low light. Her breath trembled as she exhaled what felt like a mountain of truth. If you knew the real reason I left, you might hate me. What could be so bad that we would hate you? Sarah pressed, the darkness closing in around them as her heartbeat quickened, waiting on Rachel's next words. The scent of uncertainty filled the air, and the shadows danced menacingly, wrapping tighter around them. Would the truth bring them closer together, or tear them apart entirely? Rachel stood still, the weight of her secrets crushing the space between them. Maybe it's time you knew, she began, her voice barely a whisper. But before she could finish, a distant sound echoed through the tunnel, a low rumble followed by shattering silence. Dark premonitions clawed at Sarah's instincts. What was that? Tommy asked, eyes wide. A chill traveled down Sarah's spine, and she braced herself. Whatever lay hidden in the dark was coming to find them. Rachel, she said urgently, what did you bring us into? Was their sanctuary about to become their grave? What haunting truths would emerge amidst the chaos? The rumble echoed again, louder this time, reverberating off the stone walls like a warning bell. Sarah clutched her chest, heart racing, as a shadowed worry crept into the pit of her stomach. Guys, we need to keep moving, Tommy urged, breaking the tension with a quiet determination. Whatever that is, it doesn't sound friendly. Rachel nodded, eyes wide and glistening. Let's go deeper then. There's an old room I used to hide in. We can figure things out there. Sarah followed, but dread clawed at her insides. What was waiting for them, and what truth had Rachel hidden? With each step they took, the space around them felt more alive, more threatening. As they reached a large chamber, dim light flickering off the rough stone walls, Rachel hesitated. This is it, she breathed, though her voice trembled as she glanced around. The old room smelled musty, a blend of dust and forgotten things, adding a weight to the air that felt suffocating. Tommy pulled Sarah aside, urgency creeping into his voice. We need to focus on Rachel. Whatever's out there, we can't let it distract us. Rachel nodded, eyes wide and glistening. Let's go deeper then. There's an old room I used to hide in. We can figure things out there. Sarah followed, but dread clawed at her insides. What was waiting for them? And what truth had Rachel hidden? With each step they took, the space around them felt more alive, more threatening. As they reached a large chamber, dim light flickering off the rough stone walls, Rachel hesitated. This is it, she breathed, though her voice trembled as she glanced around.
The old room smelled musty, a blend of dust and forgotten things, adding a weight to the air that felt suffocating. Tommy pulled Sarah aside, urgency creeping into his voice. We need to focus on Rachel. Whatever's out there, we can't let it distract us. But what if the danger is more than just outside? Sarah whispered, casting a sideways glance at Rachel, whose back was turned. What if she's hiding something worse? Just then, Rachel turned and faced them, her expression shifting from fear to resolve. I know you both deserve to know what's happening. It's not just about my choices anymore. The weight of her words hung thick in the air, promising a revelation Sarah wasn't sure she was ready for. Go on, Tommy prompted gently, supporting Sarah's worried stance. We're listening. Taking a deep breath, Rachel stepped into the flickering light. When I left, I did it to protect you, yes, but it's also because I was scared of what I was becoming. She looked down, the shadows concealing her face as if they carried her burden. Things started changing. I found out things I shouldn't have. Like what? Sarah pressed, hope and fear intertwining in her chest. I got caught up with the wrong people. They promised safety, a way to fix everything. Rachel continued, her voice faltering. But with it came a cost. I made deals, trading knowledge and information to keep us from danger. But now what? Tommy urged. You can't just drop that on us. They know I'm here. They might be coming now. Rachel's voice shook. And if they find us, they'll do anything to silence me, or worse.
Get to you both. Sarah's breath caught in her throat, the weight of Rachel's words crashing down. This is what you left for? You were willing to risk everything? Rachel met Sarah's eyes, the fear within her mirrored in Sarah's own. I thought I was saving us, but I didn't realize the danger would follow me, follow us. I thought it was a way to gain power, to have control over my life. I thought I was clever. But you weren't, Sarah said, anger tinting her voice. You were playing with fire. You didn't think how it would affect us? Silence wrapped around them, thick and oppressive, the threat lurking just outside the walls. Rachel's shoulders slumped, her bravado waning under the weight of guilt. I see that now. I'm sorry. I just didn't want to lose you again. I thought keeping you safe meant keeping you in the dark. The shadows outside groaned again, and Sarah felt her stomach drop. And now you have brought us into this nightmare. What if it's too late? Rachel stepped closer, desperation in her eyes. Please, trust me. We can still work this out, together. As Sarah stared into her friend's pleading face, a rumble filled the tunnel once more. But this time, it felt different, more immediate. The darkness shifted, and a fleeting glance revealed more shapes than they'd ever anticipated lurking in the murky depth. What's happening? Tommy shouted, fear flickering in his eyes. A single moment of realization hit Sarah like an icy wave. We need to get out of here, now! But as they turned to flee, a bright flash lit the chamber, illuminating dark figures poised in the distance. Run! Rachel screamed. But where were they supposed to go? With the unknown now fully closing in, the fissures of their fractured trust felt more dangerous than the threats outside. What truths were still waiting to be uncovered, and would they survive to find them? The room shook as shadows loomed, their outlines twisted and threatening. Sarah felt her heart race against the walls of her chest, adrenaline coursing through her veins. The fear gripping her was palpable, but in that moment, something shifted within her. The past may have weighed her down, but it was time to break free. Go, Tommy shouted, gripping Sarah's arm. Together, they pushed forward, racing toward the far end of the chamber. Rachel hesitated, but quickly followed, the urgency of their situation silencing any lingering doubts. The noise grew louder as they approached a narrow crevice in the wall. This way, Tommy pointed, his voice resolute. They squeezed through just as a heavy thud echoed behind them. The darkness chased them, clinging like a nightmare refusing to let go. Keep moving, Rachel yelled, panic coloring her tone. We can't let them catch us. Sarah's mind raced, thoughts swirling in a chaotic storm. You put us in danger, Rachel, she shot back, and in her heart, she knew it was true. All this time, you've kept us in the dark while you played with fire. Rachel's expression flickered with shame. I thought I was protecting you. I thought if I did everything right. But you didn't, Sarah interrupted, the weight of betrayal tightening around her. We're still in this mess because of your choices. You left me to navigate my life alone, and now we might be paying the price. The walls began to close in, shadows whispering like ghosts from her past. Yet, even amidst the chaos, Sarah felt something else, a flicker of strength born from hurt, a flame igniting within her. Catching sight of a faint light ahead, Tommy urged them on. We can make it! Together, they burst into an adjacent space, a small, hidden room lined with crumbling shelves and flickering candles. Sarah darted inside, heart pounding wildly. It was darker here, the shadows more defined, creeping closer and enveloping them. What do we do now? Rachel panted, her voice trembling. Now we face this together, Sarah said, her breath steadying. Strength coursed through her, fueled by the realization that she could finally reclaim her narrative. No more secrets, Rachel. You need to tell us everything. We can't be strong if we're still in the dark. Rachel looked trapped, her eyes wide with fear and uncertainty. I don't know everything. I just know they were after me, the people I made deals with. They'll hurt anyone I care about to get to me. Tommy stepped forward, firm and steadfast. We're a family now. You don't have to face this alone anymore. The intensity in his eyes sparked a sense of hope. Sarah could feel the connection they were forging amidst the chaos. For the first time, it wasn't just about forgiveness. It was about unity against the darkness. Together, we can figure this out, she insisted, but we need to know the full truth. You can't protect us by hiding. As they stood there, Rachel gulped hard, her confusion giving way to clarity. You're right, she nodded, chin quaking. It all started when I got involved with a group that was linked to your father. They knew about our connection, and I was desperate to gain their favor, to protect us from any danger. Protect us? Sarah's voice rose. You should have told me. Instead, you kept crawling into their shadow, not understanding that we could have fought this together. The quiet tension filled the air, and in that moment, Rachel took a deep breath, letting it all spill out. I thought I could control it, turn it to our advantage, but I was wrong. Once you engage with them, there's no turning back. They're dangerous. They'll do anything. Before Rachel could complete her warning, heavy footsteps echoed from the entrance, and the light from candle flames flickered ominously. All three of them froze, the fear recapturing the air as menacing voices filled the corridor. There you are, a familiar voice hissed, cutting through the darkness. Sarah's heart dropped. It was someone
she'd never thought she'd see here, their silhouette now casting a guillotine-like shadow on everything they had hoped to build. Dad? The word slipped from her lips like a poison, a mix of disbelief and pure dread. His features morphed into a cruel smile, eyes glinting like a beast ready to strike. We've been looking for you, Sarah, and it's time we finish this. The nightmare had come full circle in an instant. What now? What fate awaited them in the crucible of truths? Run! Tommy shouted, fear igniting action. But Sarah stood firm, urging the warmth of determination to ripple through the air. She was not an innocent bystander anymore. She needed to leverage the pain of her past into her power. Facing her father, every painful memory burned bright. No, Sarah shouted, even as her heart raced. This ends here. The revelation of her strength mirrored the light within her, fighting back against the darkness threatening to consume them. We have the strength to stand against you, together. With that, they turned toward the exit, ready to fight. Whatever came next, Sarah would not be walking in shadows anymore.
As they charged into the light, resistance thrummed through their souls. They would face the chaos hand in hand, forging a bond stronger than the lies that had sought to tear them apart. The truth would bring them out into the open and free them from the bonds of their past. But first, they needed to confront what tried to keep them hidden. Sarah took a deep breath, bracing for the fight ahead. She would protect her kids, her family. Distance wouldn't deter her now. She had come too far, fighting the world or facing her past. She was filled with fierce determination, ready for anything that might come. Together, they would emerge victorious. Now, this is where you come in. You need to subscribe to this channel right now for more exclusive stories that change lives. This is the moment to show your support. Hit that like button to feed the algorithm and keep these stories alive. I want to hear from you. Leave a comment sharing your reactions and feelings about this intense ending. And don't wait, not even one more second. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. Together, we change lives. Now, this is where you come in. You need to subscribe to this channel right now for more exclusive stories that change lives. This is the moment to show your support. Hit that like button to feed the algorithm and keep these stories alive. I want to hear from you. Leave a comment sharing your reactions and feelings about this intense ending. And don't wait, not even one more second. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. Together, we change lives.